This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. As you can see, we are currently in front of a Tim Hortons restaurant here in beautiful Squamish, British Columbia. And the reason why we're here today is because I've been receiving messages for the past few months from people all across the country telling me, Dan, your website, pressfortruth.ca, is banned and blocked at all Tim Hortons restaurants as inappropriate content. So we're gonna find out if this is true. We're gonna head in there and grab a coffee and see if we can get on pressfortruth.ca. All right, guys, so we're on the inside. Step one, we're gonna go ahead and log on to Tim Hortons Wi-Fi. Let me just pull this up and make sure we are connected. And there it is. Connected to Tim Hortons Wi-Fi. All right, now we'll go ahead and pull up the internet and accept their terms. Yes, I accept the terms. You just accepted that without reading it? All right, and we are in. Now let's try to access Press for Truth, shall we? And we'll read some of the news while we enjoy our morning coffee. Press for Truth. Ooh, there it is, folks. Access to this page has been blocked due to inappropriate content. Now here's the thing, folks. Tim Hortons is a private company, so I won't hold it against them for wanting to block certain websites from their Wi-Fi. Fact is, we are on their private property using their private Wi-Fi, so they can blacklist whoever they want, but I do find it very interesting that Press for Truth, a Canadian news site, is blocked here at Tim Hortons. But I did a little bit of digging, and it turns out this is not the first time that this has happened. 3 years ago, Tim Hortons ran into a lot of trouble when a certain gay and lesbian news site was banned by the restaurant. This wasn't gay porn or anything like that. It was simply just a news site that was geared towards the gay community. Now, the news site contacted Tim Hortons, assuming that this was done in error and that they would have to fix this, and they did get a response back from Tim Hortons, and this is what they said to them: that the website was not appropriate for all ages viewing in a public environment, and that we try to ensure that all of our guests can enjoy a safe and pleasant experience when visiting us. We look at all of these types of requests in detail in order to provide the most latitude we can while keeping our restaurants a friendly environment. Of course, you can't deny the LGBT community without being regarded as, homophobic or trampling on some sort of vague human right that they have to use private Wi-Fi on private property. So the battle was actually taken to Twitter, where a boycott on Tim Hortons started. And wouldn't you know it, that quickly ended when the company apologized and they unblocked the news website. Now, I'm not exactly expecting the same treatment for PFT here, but by all means, feel free to tweet at them and send them your emails. Because for starters, they are a private company. They can do whatever they want, and really, if they want to block PFT, it's their loss. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. Their coffee is absolutely gross. It's really a fast food based coffee. You wouldn't eat a Big Mac and call it a burger, so I don't know why anybody would do the same thing calling this coffee. But I suppose you could make the argument that they're not so private after all. For starters, they rely on federal immigration and the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. The Temporary Foreign Worker Program is very unpopular in a lot of circles, both left, right, and also libertarian. But Tim Hortons has stood by their decision here to hire these employees simply because Canadians don't want a minimum paying wage job serving coffee and breakfast sandwiches. So the CEO told the media a couple years ago that if the cessation or limitation of access to federal or provincial labor programs, including the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, should happen, it would affect the bottom line. So a private company that can't exist without government involvement, that doesn't sound right. But believe it or not, that's what happened in Nova Scotia as taxpayers covered the losses for Tim Hortons restaurants. Nova Scotian taxpayers involuntarily gave over $1.4 million. And why, you ask? Well, unlike other Tim Hortons and other fast food joints, these ones were located in state-run hospitals. These places only hire union workers who feel entitled to $20 an hour for making coffee. It was the same thing in Ontario, where the Windsor Regional Hospital operates 3 Tim Hortons that cost taxpayers $265,000. So I mean, maybe Tim Hortons is not a private company, and maybe they should unblock Press for Truth. I mean, what's the big deal with my news site in the first place? A lot of these places nowadays have TVs, and they'll show CBC or CNN or Fox or any other kind of propaganda state garbage. But I suppose that it's state propaganda makes for a comfy environment here at Tim Hortons. So you're not going to find any Tim Hortons product placement on Press for Truth, that's for sure, guys. I consider this really an honor to be blocked by this smug, gross coffee, fast-Frankenfood chain that's really weaved its way into the foundational fabrics of Canadian society. It's like my friend James Corbett says here on Twitter, that is the most Canadian alt-media badge of honor I could think of. Congrats, eh? So ask yourself, guys, what is a Canada without Timmy's? Well, what's a Canada without corporate fascism? Feel free to give this a shot in your neighborhood, guys. Go on into a Tim Hortons and see if you can get onto their Wi-Fi and visit pressfortruth.ca. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, check the links in the description, add us on patreon.com/pressfortruth, and stay tuned, we're gonna have more videos coming soon. Yeah. Start planting your own vegetables in your own yard, and if your municipality has a problem with it, you can refer them to the case with the Drummondville, Quebec couple who was just awarded the right to keep their garden. So indeed, this is great news today. We hope this sets a precedent and once again a ripple effect all across the nation.